What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video. And today, it is time that we take our first look at the 2024 Iowa Republican Presidential Caucus. Yep, we've been talking a lot about 2024, but we really haven't talked about states in particular. Yes, we looked at the first four states as a general overview, but we haven't gone state by state in their own videos. And today I wanted to start doing that because the race is starting to heat up. Of course, Ron DeSantis announced his candidacy a couple days ago. You're going to probably see Pence in a couple weeks, Bergman in a couple weeks. Either way, things are starting to get very fascinating. And the Iowa caucus, it's surprisingly only like 8 months away. So we're starting to already get kind of close to the first caucus of 2024. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below. Guys, go follow Real American Politics on Twitter. It's a great Twitter account everyone should follow. Of course, follow the Rumble page for exclusive content, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $3 a month, you could join Real American, which is a phenomenal deal, as it helps support the daily content we all know and love. You love the daily content? Well, this is the best way to support it. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, so it's time for the Iowa caucus, or in a couple months or something like that. And it's time we discuss it, because Iowa is by far one of the more fascinating early states. It's always been first since 1972, but the Democrats have changed the order of the primaries, which, why? Why make South Carolina first? I know you want to dictate who the nominee is, but still, it's like, at least make Iowa first to appear fair. Either way, Iowa is still first for the Republican side. And while it's not the best indicator for who's going to be the nominee, in 2024 for the Republican side, it could very well be the indicator to see how the primary really is going. Because as many of you know, Iowa is by far, on the primary side at least, probably the most socially conservative state, especially in the first four states. Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Nevada. You can make the argument for South Carolina, but being somewhat conservative. But Iowa's by far more conservative on the primary level than New Hampshire, than Nevada. And in the past, they've always supported the social conservatives. You know, Mike Huckabee wanted it, Rick Santorum, Ted Cruz. And that's because they used to do very well with evangelical voters. That's always been the bread and butter for these social conservatives. I mean, look at this. It was noted by the Des Moines Register that almost half of likely Republican caucus goers self-identify as evangelical or born-again Christians. Think about that. One of the most conservative and Republican voting blocs, over half of the electorate is that. Do you see the thing with Iowa? Why it's considered a referendum on conservatism? Because they usually support the most socially conservative guy. And in 2016, Cruz won an upset because, let's be real, he told Ben Carson voters he dropped out. Either way, the point is Cruz did do a lot better than expected. Either way, he did so because of him being the more social conservative, evangelical candidate. And if there's one state in 2024 I could see Trump underperforming at the primary, it is Iowa, because of how evangelical it is. Now, let me be clear. I still think Trump's a clear frontrunner, but there is some data to indicate that this could be the state Trump underperforms just a little bit, by a hair. And the reason being is how evangelical it is and who he's running against. Now, just ignore Ron DeSantis for a second. There are two candidates in particular I could see doing very well in the state of Iowa: Mike Pence and Tim Scott. Mike Pence, that's kind of obvious. He's been evangelical. That's the biggest reason Trump picked him in 2016 as his VP. He's very religious, very Christian. He's able to appeal to the Ted Cruz types. But why Tim Scott? Well, you may notice his slogan is Faith in America. And one of the positives about his announcement is he did focus on religion and how we have to bring back God in America. I wonder who he's trying to appeal to. It's as if he's trying to get those evangelical voters in Iowa. And this is going to be a big problem for President Trump. Because Trump, for all of his positives, he has one or two main faults for running in 24. And again, I'm not bashing him for it. I just think he needs to improve this one position. It's on abortion and transgender stuff. And again, Trump's not as bad as some people say. I mean, he supported the trans ban in the military. It's not like he's woke on it. Sorry, I said the word that I said is cringe, but I'm just saying that it's an example. Either way, Trump is a bit more liberal on stuff like abortion. Now, I'm not saying he's full-blown supports abortion post-birth, but he does support abortion up to 15 weeks. And I disagree with him personally on it. I believe it should be a heartbeat. And I could understand where Trump is coming from for that situation, but I think this could hurt him in a state like Iowa when Tim Scott's running on being a social conservative. So is Mike Pence. Nikki Haley, I don't know what she's running on. But also Ron DeSantis. This could be a big thing for DeSantis also. He's trying to run as that cultural warrior from Florida. And Ron DeSantis, for his faults, he has one big advantage over Trump in 2024 in Iowa. And this doesn't mean he's going to win, but it is by far the endorsements. Look at the amount of endorsements he has from the state legislature. Look at this. There's a ton. There is a ton of endorsements for Governor Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida or Iowa. And you look at Trump, he has a few, and he's a couple, representatives and former executive branch officials. But outside of that, you can see who has the more endorsements. And this could help DeSantis with Iowa. Because, let's be real, if Trump does good in Iowa, it's over. It is 100% over already because this, the one state of the first four, DeSantis, Tim Scott, or Mike Pence, or somebody, should be able to break through it. Because this is a more evangelical, conservative state. And if Trump is winning here by quite a bit, it's not looking too good. Now, with Iowa, the polling has been fairly good for Trump, but I've noticed it seems like it's actually stagnating more than the national polling. And it seems like he's doing it slightly worse in some polling than compared nationally. Yes, he's at 54% nationally, but I believe in RCP for Iowa, it's like 53% or something. So it seems like he's doing a tad worse in Iowa than he is doing nationally, but not 30 points like some people claim. Now, the good news for Trump is there's been some polling to indicate that he's killing it with evangelicals. There's one poll by YouGov that has about 70% of evangelicals are backing Trump for the primary. If that's the case, it's over. It is 100% over because you cannot win the primary against Trump if you get crushed in Iowa. Because this should be his weakest state. And if he's doing good here, what's going to happen in New Hampshire, Nevada, or South Carolina? Because South Carolina, it's winner take all. And guess what? There's no way in hell, especially with this divided of a field, is Trump going to lose Iowa or South Carolina. Even if DeSantis loses by 1%, Trump's going to get all the delegates. That's 50. And with Iowa, it is 40 delegates. It's not as much as South Carolina. And I do say South Carolina is still very important. But looking at it more, it's looking like Iowa. Whoever pulls it off in Iowa, if Trump does get 60% of the vote in Iowa, he's got it. It doesn't matter what happens. He's going to be the nominee. If he does a little bit worse, it's probably going to be more contested, but he's still going to be the nominee. If he somehow loses Iowa, could be in trouble. But the good news is the field is very divided, and it seems like Trump does have a floor of like 45%. And with Iowa, this is the big thing it has over all the other states. There's no threshold. There is no threshold. So even if like Larry Elder gets 1% of the vote, he could still probably get a delegate. And let's look at this right here. Let's say Trump, he gets only 45%. Let's say he underperforms by a lot. And let's say DeSantis does a little bit better and gets around 27% of the vote. Pence, I could see doing okay, getting probably 3 delegates. Scott, probably 3. I actually think Ramaswamy is going to do better than expected. I think he does get 2 delegates. Well, everybody else gets 1. And even in this scenario, it's still not looking the best for Trump or DeSantis. Because Trump still won a state that he should have done poorly in. If he still gets 45% of the vote in Iowa, which is looking like what's going to happen, in spite of this competitive a field, he's going to crush it in New Hampshire, crush it in Nevada, and South Carolina's going to be a blowout. And this is the problem for Team DeSantis. The one thing that got over him is the endorsements. But take that out of the equation. The polling does not look like the best as of now. But it could change. It could absolutely change. And, hey, who knows? Maybe a scandal hits him and suddenly DeSantis wins Iowa. If this happens, DeSantis has a pathway. But if he gets, realistically, let's say he gets 25% and Trump gets 47%, and not looking the best for DeSantis then, because this should be a state Trump struggles in, theoretically, if you got DeSantis, Mike Pence, Tim Scott, who should be appealing to these evangelicals. If they're struggling here, when you hit New Hampshire, Trump's going to kill you electorally. Same thing in Nevada. In South Carolina, he's winning all the delegates. But if DeSantis is to win the primary, he has to do good in Iowa. He cannot allow Trump to get 47%. If he does, it's over. But if it's like 40%, that's more manageable. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.